Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the LifeVision Lab podcast. I'm your host, Shwetha, and I just want to begin with a moment of gratitude. Thank you for tuning in, for sharing these episodes, and for being part of this growing community of vision driven souls who are learning to live more consciously, more courageously every single day. We've got so many exciting guests lined up over the next few weeks. Artists, visionaries, and change makers who remind us that we can reimagine what's possible in our lives and careers. Each conversation is an invitation to return to yourself and design a life that truly feels like you. I'll be hosting a virtual 30-day reset challenge designed to help you realign your mind, body, and purpose as we close out the year so you can co-create the life you want. Think of it as a guided reset to declutter your mental space, reconnect with your goals, and recharge your energy. Now, let's dive into today's conversation, and it's such a powerful one. Born in Mongolia and orphaned at the age of 2, today's guest has traveled to over 60 countries, founded businesses, exhibited her art around the world, and even sent her artwork into outer space with SpaceX. She's an artist, an author, an entrepreneur, and above all, a living example of what it means to reinvent yourself over and over again, guided by joy, creativity, and courage. Please welcome Aisha to the LifeVision Lab podcast. Aisha, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. And as I introduced you, I actually had chills. You've just done so much, and I have so much to talk to you about. But let's begin. Where did this inspiring journey start? I know you say you were born in Mongolia and you lost your parents at a very, very young age. And somehow you turned that story of loss into one of resilience and beauty. Can you take us back to those early years?
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate the time that was spent here. My journey started in the mountain. I don't recommend anyone to get through what I went through in my childhood. And it is what it is. It's a story, and that's who we are today. It's built me, it's created me who I am today. So I'm very grateful and I feel blessed to live in this beautiful world. So my journey started when I ended up in an orphan house, and I get to learn that I am independent. When I was less than 2 years old, I was crying. It's normal, I believe. After a while, I just put myself together and I said, nobody's here to help me. Nobody's here to, oh, everything will be good. Because the adults around us, they didn't have time to please us or give us attention. So it always was fight over that attention. It always was fighting and fighting who, who, who will get more attention from the adults. I just realized I was fighting, of course, in the beginning. But one day I just realized I just go on my own and go and explore things around in the garden. And after I started to go in nature, because thanks God I was living in very safe kind of environment. So I can go and explore in my own. So I started to do it when probably I was between 2 and 3. I didn't want to fight over that tension because it was so many other kids, and every time we get to fight for ask that attention. I started to just go on my own and do whatever I want, and somehow, eventually, I realized that adults know who I am and where I live, and so they deliver me time to time. Because as a kid, I couldn't get back by my own when I was go to far away. And eventually, when I getting older, I started to realize and I started to learn how to get in without being noticed that I didn't got. So it's been learning probably as a kid all these different things, how to say, but how to kind of in the same time being curious
And survive, you're
and
right.
feeling safe actually with kids, adults. I didn't like that side. But I couldn't do anything about that was part of my reality, part of my life. And the thing is, the funny part, I really enjoy to be in my own, wandering, exploring, and after bringing some weird things. And sometimes I was asking adults what it is, like what it is, like kids ask you what it is. I was one of those curious, and many times I've been punished for that. Anyway, it was very interesting. Me growing up in the environment where you don't have so much love or like caring. You don't learn how to give hugs. Nobody give you hugs. Nobody reading your books. Nobody asking you how do you feel and what do you want. Anything, what your dreams are, or do you have a dream or nothing. Nobody. You kind of growing up in this very heavy military way, and get to be the way they want it to be, and no other way because you don't fit in, you're just punished. Rebellious or you say something, you're punished. Like very whatever you express, you cannot even express your voice.
Which is a basic child trying to express, right? And you were being punished for it. And so, what shaped your worldview then, growing up and experiencing all of this? And where did you find like, when did you start finding your sense of creativity and courage to move
When I
forward?
started to read, so I really
Mm,
like love reading. So when I learned to read, I spent a lot of time in the library. That was my escape. And I started to read a lot of books. I love fairy tales and mythology, especially Greek mythology. I love stories about gods and, the way they were playing, the way we were playing with each other and the truth or the courage, Prometheus and the other what I learned from that experience. So I started to dream. And I remember the first time I had a geography class and I said to my teachers, I'm going to travel around the world. I was like 9 or 10 and they were just like laughing at me. And at that time, I found the announcement in one of the magazines and I wrote them a long letter and asking them why I want to learn English. And didn't have money, didn't have
mm,
anything. And they were sending me books and the cassettes and discs for years and years after that because the first motivation letter, I would say, when I was 8, 9.
beautiful.
And that's kind of like for me, I don't see any like what I cannot do. I believe I can do absolutely anything I want. And I'm living my best life
Uh-huh.
always. Because in my 20s, I was traveling so much. I love to travel like backpacking and more like this student kind of way of just exploring, going, staying with coaches or learn about culture, language. I'm more curious
Right.
about engaging with other people, with other. I don't care if I sleep under the tree or staying in a tent or my sleeping bag. Excited to learn about the world in
Mm-hmm.
general. And learn what things
Uh-huh.
people
Uh-huh.
always want to help. It doesn't matter where you are and who you are. They always have this natural, like helping you, showing your road, sharing your like sharing their culture, showing their food, sharing their food. So I
And that's a very key point you raise. Even as you were growing up, you had the hunger to learn. You found a way to reach out to an English school to get you the books that you needed. You just had to ask. And then you traveled around. There was that moment when you were growing up that you said you're going to carve your own path no matter what. When you ask, it's a natural tendency for people to help and support if you're clear about what you're asking. You were clear all along that you wanted to learn, you were hungry to learn, hungry to grow, hungry to have an adventure. That led you down that path of traveling. That's beautiful. When did you start exploring the creative side and when did art become part of your life?
art, I always journaling is my favorite things to do. I'm always sometimes it's long chapters, so I get to reflect on things. I'm with life. I'm always playful. That's why I reinvent myself. I have this idea of me traveling around the world the first time, realizing I was 20 years old. And I remember I went to all the places already that was in my mind. I remember staying in the Times Square for New Year in New York. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. And I was just saying to myself, like, I'm a winner. I'm a winner of the world. I created my reality. I made it. I made it through. And I don't know how did it even happen. And I am our ultimate creator. I
Mm,
can create absolutely any reality. Years
mhm,
and now, like in 2022, actually started to change. I remember all my
mhm,
dreams when I decided to be artist full time, being businesswoman or being engineer. Engineer for me, when I finished, started to study engineering because I accomplished that time of my dreams of travels and I consistently wanted to travel. I just realized that, okay, I can be engineer. That's what I'm studying right now. But I got very bored and it was not my cup of tea. I didn't feel that's something I enjoy to do. So I was brave enough to go and explore what I enjoy to do and all the struggles with that as well. So I realized in my late 20s when I decided to be a businesswoman, it was not, I didn't know what type of a businesswoman I wanted to be because I was doing so many things when I was living in Norway. I was doing pizza delivery, I was doing sushi, I was doing sewing, I was doing many different knitting, selling different things and creating many different things. But I didn't consider myself like, oh, it's a business. It was just something small. I was doing t-shirts with my art, selling to the tourists. I was doing a lot of different things that time of my life. But I was very young. I was just to explore since my childhood. I always loved to learn and kind of play. And money is never issue. I feel like money coming and go. You get to play with that. You get to understand how to navigate yourself. And people.
That's a very important point, and I want to pause there and unpack that a bit. Aisha, a lot of people, including myself, in spite of having a very protected home, growing up with parents, making sure you had a very safe, right? I had a very safe home that I grew up in, very safe home that I got married into, beautiful community around me, nothing like what you experienced. But still, there are so many fears that I grew up. Am I going to have enough money? Will I be able to afford this? Can I send my son to university? Will I be able to get to a certain point in life? How did that not occur to you? Is it because you had experienced the most challenging times in your childhood that you got over it and you knew anything is possible because you could
You
survive?
know, I just learned one thing in my life that I'm safe. Yes, I have this control. Like I
Mm.
went through a lot of different programs and I'm still working through many different, each culture and each language, each country has the programs that you're growing up with. So then to kind of break them, hack them.
And so, when did that change for you, Aisha? Because you said when you lost your parents, you were moving around different homes, you would be punished just for pure curiosity. You felt very unsafe. So, when did you go from feeling unsafe to feeling safe? Was it in books? Was it the reading you were doing?
That
What was
was,
it?
I feel unsafe in the environment that I've been in. And
Mm,
out in my own, exploring, I feel very safe.
mm,
I feel playful. I can do whatever I want. I was feeling like a hero. I was just being very creative and imaginative. So for me, it's like I'm safe while I'm on my own, living in there. With some started slowly feel not safe because of these different things.
mhm,
I started to realize why I feel like disconnected, why I don't feel connected to other
mhm,
human beings. That because when you've been abandoned in such an early age, I feel you're kind of living in your own world. You're creating your own world because you're not getting that care. Nobody give you love. Nobody hug you. Nobody give you this attention that tell you, I love you, I'm here for you. Parents do, and you
mhm,
don't grow up in that
mhm,
environment. You don't
mhm,
understand giving love to other people, caring about other people. He started to ask yourself, what's happening within me? What I feel about that. While doing
mhm,
that, I
mhm,
still am always asking myself what I feel right.
mhm,
More instead to like
mhm,
connected, my dream become way
mhm,
more grounded and way more
mhm,
aware of the things I'm speaking up and always
mhm,
safe to speak my truth. Because until I moved to America, I always feel safe to express my
mhm,
truth, my way of being.
mhm,
I'm me. I'm very proud of me being me. When I moved to America, I realized the power of the word. My words can scare people and people can feel scared. So I learned that it scares me
mhm,
because the effect of it, what I experienced. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm this very
mhm,
vulnerable woman and I need love. So I expressed that the thing since because of my harshness, because of my childhood traumas, the way I expressing myself is harsh. So I started to learn how to be more gentle with myself because expressing myself the way I
mhm,
was expressing myself like a gangster or a little bit more hard. And the same time I learned, I said,
mhm,
okay, that doesn't work. It's something very because each language is different. In Norway, for example, when I speak Norwegian, it's completely different when I was speaking by living in Portugal or when I'm living in America. So I had become like this gangster. In America, I was like this gangster type because I was doing so many things. I was like, I get to kind of embody some things to be me, and listen because everyone is questioning things. And I don't like when people question things because I say, like, who are you to, what I have this attitude like, why did to prove you something? Who are you to me? I just know you a few times and you're like pushing me to the point where I know myself all my life. So I know what I can do, what I cannot do. And I reinvent myself so many times, what you have done in your life. That attitude, and I was feeling that doesn't serve me after a while. I said, okay, I get to be way more wiser, way more gentle. I say like, hey, flowy instead of flexible, not so stubborn and like like be more like water. And it took me a while. I'm still learning to be like water. I have this pride within me, and I have this, I cannot call it ego, but everyone has an ego, and my ego is protecting me. The things is like I achieved many things in my life because of my dreams that I have, because of the willingness that I have, the courage, the bravery. I'm moving towards them on my own. Of course, people help me on the way to get there where I am today. I'm very grateful for all the people that's helping me. And at the same time, it's me who's moving towards that.
You made the decision to
Exactly,
coach
a
your life.
creator of my reality that I want to
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
inspire other people by living their dream, their
Right.
creation. And each of us making the decision. For example, in some point of our life, we're making decision. Do we want to have kids? Do we want to have family? We're limiting ourselves because of the fears. Because if I'm not going to marry and have kids because I'm a woman, in my 30s, society will punish me. They will say to me, oh, you're very bad or whatever. So many different limitations. So you have to be brave enough
Yes.
to express yourself and say, I'm very happy with myself. That is my decision. Yes, of course, we're all going through. We always want to have marriage and have kids, and we're pushing, pushing, pushing. But when life doesn't give it to you in a natural way, so you get to understand at some point why I'm so stubborn, why I continue to push myself towards that. Well, it's clearly showing me that it's not there. Let it switch, or like
Right.
at least switch in my mind to understand maybe it's not the time, maybe it's never will happen, and it's okay. But that's so it takes great courage. We continue to push and we're getting exhausted. That was
And burnt out and just give up one day and get resentful and bitter, right?
exactly,
So,
exactly.
what was the experience as an artist for you? Rebellion, healing, or was it everything
So I,
together?
I was doing art. I haven't considered myself an artist. I was doing art just for myself. But my friends always love it. And like, oh my gosh, you have a talent. Well, you got to definitely explore that side of you. And I went through a very harsh time in my late 20s. I've been married and it was long my life. Everything was great. The thing is like, he was not the way I want us to be, or the idea of story or the family I want. I didn't accept him the way he is. I created this picture, I would say. And I got
Potential of what it can be and should be instead of what it
exactly.
really
And it
was.
disappoint me and upset me and make me sad and make me so sad. We're the worst and so much. We're still friends, but anyway, what happened is I went through a lot of this doubt in myself. Is it that I'm enough? Like, I started to punish myself more and more and went to drugs. It was a short moment of my life, maybe 5, 6 months. But the point is, I learned so much about myself and started therapy with art. I went to therapy, started to do more art, and I was connecting more towards the art. And after a year and a half, I said to myself, maybe it's a time for me to be a full-time artist. And in Miami and being a Basel, that was my idea of being Miami-based artist that I'm Basel. I already knew about networking. I knew that it's going to happen. The COVID hit when I moved 2020 to Miami. And I was very completely destroyed that time. I was realizing that I don't have any friends. I just moved to a completely random city that's
The lockdown.
lockdowns 2021, I never done Basel. And it was all my networking, organizing so many amazing events, a lot of more down around Miami. And I just unfolding people inviting you to say yes, and you slowly say yes, just trusting to the process. And eventually you end up where you get to end up, like want to be. And so after that, in 2020, I also create like ideas of what it is to be accomplished artist because I interviewed hundreds of the artists and I realized each of them experience 6, 7, 8 years until they become more recognized artists or accomplished artists. And for me, I was into what it is to be an accomplished artist. And so by interviewing all these people, I continue to do art, continue to love, going through all these struggles, continue to create no matter what. No matter what you know what, no matter with who you are, you just continue to create, continue writing, continue if you're a writer, you continue write. If you like doing art, you just continue to art. And that's the beauty. And that's what I started to realize more and more. And that's how I created my idea of sending my art to the space. So I send my artwork to Elon Musk, to Jeff Bezos, and to Richard Branson. And I asked Elon Musk to send my art to space. I asked Richard Branson to paint his rocket. And I asked Jeff Bezos to send me to the space.
And so, how did you do that, Aisha? Randomly, one morning you woke up and you were like, okay, I'm just going to send
No,
them an
I didn't
email and see
send
where this goes.
mail to the office. It's my
Oh, you sent a
artwork.
mail.
If I have a
Okay.
video about that, it was my artwork where I select, I just, that time I was also doing acrylic, create this unicorn collection and I just sent to them, to their offices. And I'm going to just give it out.
Beautiful.
And I'm just feeling like they're, and I write a letter to them. Normal was my hand asking to do that. I didn't receive the artworks back, so I believe that I will receive it. It was in 2020 for the Christmas time or something like that. It was that Christmas gift for me.
Right.
And this year I sent the Formula One to Ferrari team one of my artwork, and it's come back to me. And they didn't receive my gifts. Maybe I didn't choose the right colors.
Okay. I love that you taking it so well, Aisha, and you're still continuing to spread your art and your love right across the globe. And so, when you did send it to Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson, what happened? Did they respond to you? Did your art get selected? How did you know it's been sent
Well,
to SpaceX?
because I've been in the hippie community in 2022 and in 2021, I'm getting more and more towards the hippie life and living in the van. I was sharing my dreams, my ideas. One of the ladies sent me on Instagram, she said, "Oh, look, this is the project. They selecting the artists from around the world to send the art to space. It's connected to your dream." So I applied for the project and I did a call. It was like an interview, so I signed up contract. And they said to me that they're working with SpaceX, sending me one of their what they called the Falcon 9, this rocket for which they're sending it with one of their satellites. And it's going to be when the satellite is open, so the all this little it was engraved in golden plates, and it will like started to fly in the space. So they selected 50 artworks from around the world, and they selected two of my artworks. So it's now it's flying someone in space.
Beautiful.
But I didn't know. I didn't need to pay money. I didn't need to like be whatever people say. I believe that all the dreams is real. Absolutely all of that. So you don't need to worry how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen.
Yes.
Know that it's going to happen. That's it.
It's going to
Enough.
happen. Yeah. And have the
Exactly.
confidence. That's
And my
beautiful.
legacy in this lifetime, I said, I just continue to live my life, just continue to be me, and continue to shine my star, continue to put my sparkles, my unicorn sparkle, my unicorn dust, magic dust.
And you're already spreading it in space.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
wonderful.
And that's the reality. For me, our mind is limitless. Our body has have we're living this reality, so we get to take care of our body
Right.
limitations. Because our soul doesn't have limitation either. We get to understand our body can have a capacity. I believe my body has a capacity to be one of the first astronaut artists who can go to the end. I'm just feeling like anything is
Yeah.
possible. It's no like say, oh no, you don't have enough education, oh you don't have enough. No, you don't focus on what you have.
Mm,
You have a dream, you
mm.
have yourself, you have the willingness and commitment to do that when the opportunity will arrive. That's enough.
and finding
That's
joy in it, right?
gorgeous.
Because you recently released the Joyful Living Guidebook. Aisha, I want to talk a little bit about that. It is such a beautiful creation, a blend of art, philosophy, and practical tools. What inspired you to write the book?
That time I was living in LA, and I was already
Mhm.
I understood all the dreams is real for me, absolutely. I want to just share with people to believe that they get to stay joyful no matter what's going to happen, no matter like your mother died, your dog died. It's understanding that it's a normal process of life. It's a normal circle of life. So enjoy and cherish the moments that you be together, that moments that you share together, and don't think about what you
Mhm.
didn't do or haven't or regret forever. The things is
I met a very good friend of mine, Aisha, this past weekend. She lost her elder daughter. They were twins, and the daughter and the son were born, but she lost the daughter. The son is now much older, healthy, and perfectly fine. She told me that in hindsight, she thinks the purpose of her daughter coming into this world and living for 5 weeks was just to bring her son into the world. They were twins in the womb. And so it felt like the journey for the daughter was just to make sure that her brother is safe in this world. And the minute she knew he's safe, she passed on. So, like you said, when people lose their parents, and you lost your parents very young, the way you shifted your narrative to say they served a purpose, they serve the purpose of bringing you into the world. And now, what you make your life to be is up to you. That purpose was served and then they passed on, but they've left you behind in this world to make it so beautiful. As you're saying that, Aisha, I remember that story and I thought I'll share it with you. We get so lost in the I wish it could and should that we forget to live
yes,
in the
many people
present
do.
moment.
And for me,
I mean, I'm guilty
yeah.
of it too.
And
I've done it
I'm doing
too.
my best to, as plain as possible. I don't anymore think about past at all. I remembering when I
Hmm.
was writing my book and creating all those chapters, and after I decided to publish it, it was a whole process. It was a lot of emotion last year. The point is like when I release it, I learned so many things about myself, about the corporate, about the way
Hmm.
of corporate when you're publishing, as to how much they take it from you as a creator, how much the energy they're sucking from you, not just your creativity, but everything, and how little you get back, either almost
Hmm.
nothing. And I'm just realizing how much you give
Hmm.
of your money, of your energy, of your creativity, everything, and they don't even
Hmm.
like it's a corporate, it's like a machine,
Hmm.
emotions or feelings or being grateful, they just want
Hmm.
you, they want to continue to take everything from you, give you very little back, and that you can be happy about that.
Hmm.
From my side, when I learned about that, I said, okay, the most important for me that I give my message there. That's what matters for me. It's not about how much
Yeah.
money I will make out of that. It's not about how famous I become from that. It's just because I want to share my voice that people who will buy my book can read that what it is to live a joyful life. And it's just guidance. It's just a different
Hmm.
suggestion how you can integrate some things in your everyday life. We all have 24 hours. Not all of us
Hmm.
spending that 24 hours the same. That's what I'm saying. Everyone has their own idea, the way they want to spend the 24 hours. So
Hmm.
that's the big difference between Elon
Right.
Musk and someone else. Because when or between Aisha Makara and someone else, because I'm feeling like each of us have the same time each day. Some of
Hmm.
us choose to complain. Some of us choose to find a solution,
Hmm.
smile every day, no matter what's going on in the life. It's a choice. While we're here, we have a
Yeah.
power of choice. And
That's a good segue then, Aisha, into for those listening who might be in the middle of burnout, uncertainty, fear, anxiety. There's so much happening in the world today. What are some of the small, simple actions you recommend to stay joyful and centered?
smile to the world, and the world will always smile to you and always choose joy.
Mhm.
It's very easy to
Mm.
access joy with a cup of coffee in the morning, with the sunrise and sunset, and hug, say someone
Wow.
that you love them every morning, every evening. Just
Mm-hmm.
say to yourself that you love yourself, like looking at yourself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this slow world, you never know how long you're going to be here. Just don't spend that time on fights, on being bitter, upsetting, disappointment, because I've
Yes.
been there. It's separating me more and more from
Mm-hmm.
myself. And now, slowly working towards grounding and actually connecting with people, I'm learning humbleness. And humbleness
Mm-hmm.
is not easy to access because we're all trapped in our ego and ideas or dreams and
Mm-hmm.
goals.
And sometimes people take advantage of the humility and humbleness too. So you have to find the right balance of when to, with whom you
Yes.
need to be humble,
You get to be
right? And
humble in
show
the
the
same time you get to
humility.
learn how to say yes and no because your priorities
Yes,
and also about your boundaries. And that's very important also to
that's
like
right.
understanding I'm in this my own bubble and I'm inviting you in my joyful container. It's comes from the place of
Mm-hmm.
what it called like I am curious, and every time when it maybe seems like a judgment, it's not a judgment. I just make it
Mm-hmm.
clear where we are, what our
Mm-hmm.
intention is, what we want to create, where
Mm-hmm.
we're standing right now,
Mm-hmm.
in what area, like what we would like to express. Sometimes when I'm learning about mind communication, I'm like, I get to clarify something. So listen, it's not a judgment, it's not a critique. I just want to make sure and get clarity on some things that matters for us to
Mm-hmm.
continue walk together. If we want to walk together, we get to get clarity and get know each other from the place of joy, like creating that joyful container
Yeah.
where we both express our wants and needs. And reality, people don't even
Yes.
think about that they can create
Mm-hmm.
that joyful, safe container where they can both express.
Tired and awkward when you have to look in the mirror or just get up and smile because probably there's nothing, there's no reason to smile. But if you keep doing it and then you start creating a life that brings the smile every morning, right? And so I think it's important, Aisha, thank you for raising that. People need to take that away to say, you might feel funny, you might feel weird, you might feel awkward in the beginning, but the goal is, how do I bring joy into this world? Let me start by just looking at myself in the mirror and saying, "Oh my God, I love you."
Exactly. It's easy when you come
Right?
from the heart and understanding I'm the mirror of everyone around me. Understand
Yes.
everyone going through struggle, any struggle, different struggles.
Mm-hmm.
How to actually enjoy the struggle because struggle is real. It's just different struggle, and decide that what
Exactly.
struggle you want to have because it's all the same.
Mhm.
The things is mental struggles we all, there. If you are money, whatever, it's up to you. But the thing is, every time when you're choosing the struggle, also understand how I can work and how I can be grateful for that struggle. Not complaining,
Yeah.
not saying, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, poor me. Get to have fun, feel like a kid.
It's okay to feel sad and it's okay to spend some time saying, oh, poor me. It's important to validate those feelings, but then try to find a way to move out of it, right? Don't stagnate in that
Exactly.
feeling.
Move. Life is a move. Life will not wait for you. It will continue. Today, I was thinking about the choices that I made and end up where I am today, and the other choices that I haven't made. I don't know where I'm going to be, but the thing is, I am where I am today, and I'm grateful to be where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still living my dream. I'm always pushing to live my
Mm-hmm.
best. And the thing is, I realizing I get to learn to be patient, to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I get to learn to be more flexible within myself. Be more water. Practice to
Yes.
be water. Not judging at all. Don't think at all. Because every time you're thinking, you're always thinking. And don't sometimes you don't
Mm-hmm.
need to think. Many times in life we get just present in the
Follow your
moment.
intuition. Yes, that's beautiful. And so, Aisha, before we close, there's an interesting segment that I created for my last episode. I'd love to ask you a few rapid fire questions. What does living in your creative energy mean to you right now?
Just being authentic me and continue to inspire other people with my words and actions.
Beautiful. If you could leave one message for everyone listening, something they can carry through their day, what would that be?
Be present in the moment and believe in yourself. You can do it.
Beautiful. And just for fun, let's do a quick lightning round. A place that changed your life.
The place that changed my life, I think it's when I moved to Moscow.
What's a color that represents the current season of your life?
A
What color
color,
resonates with you right now?
I would say yellow.
Yellow. And a mantra you live by.
Mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum is a purifying the ego, purifying everything in our life, and about purity and everything we get to work through the purifying. And by purifying it, we're growing.
Beautiful. Aisha, your life is such a living canvas, a reminder that joy isn't found, it's created. Thank you for inspiring us to live more boldly, to bring more color to our days, and to trust the beauty of reinvention. And to everyone listening, thank you for being here. If today's episode moved you, share it with a friend, tag Life Vision Lab on Instagram, and let us know your biggest takeaway. Don't forget to check out the 30-day reset challenge. Let's end this year with alignment, energy, and a renewed sense of purpose. Aisha, thank you again for being here. Until next time, stay inspired, stay aligned, and keep creating a life you truly love.
Thank you very much, Joy,
Thank
for
you.
living. Namaste.